It is the dream of every business owner, every manager out there to have star players on their team. I'm talking about the high-performing employees that deliver high-quality results consistently and often exceed targets. Now, here's what you need to know. If you have high-performing employees on your team, you can't manage them the same way you manage your other employees. You might be at risk of losing them if you do. So in this video, I'm going to share with you the top 5 things you need to know about managing a high-performing employee so that maybe you can even attract more high-performing employees to your team. So here's the first thing you need to know about managing a high-performing employee that you might be lucky enough to have on your team. For starters, you cannot micromanage them. If you have a good employee who consistently produces top quality results, exceeds targets, looks for more challenging work to do, and they're always producing good work, micromanagement will feel like punishment to them. And why wouldn't it? Here I am doing a great job. I always exceed results. Why do I have someone watching over my shoulder? It can really reduce the morale of a high performer, and you don't want that. You got to save that micromanagement for the employee who perhaps isn't doing as well. It might need a little more guidance, might need a little more training or coaching, but you want to assign good work to your high performer and let them run with it because they've demonstrated to you that they're trustworthy and that they can do the work. Don't micromanage a high performer. The second thing that you have to be sure of is that you assign challenging work to a high performer. People who perform at a higher level can get bored really quickly. So you have to find this balance between consistently giving them more challenging work to do, but not to the point where they might get burnout. Okay, you don't want to burn out your high performers because then, you're shooting yourself in the foot. You're losing the best players on your team. But you have to keep them challenged. So you're going to have to check in with your high performer on a regular basis to say, is the work challenging enough for you? Is this enough to motivate you? But are you feeling okay? I don't want you to get toward this place where you might be burning out. So make sure that you're offering more of a reward to your high performer than just more work to do. It has to be a specific type of work that's going to be meaningful to them, but not to the point where they get burnout. Which brings me to my next point. You have to provide recognition to your high-performing employees. Technically, you need to be providing positive recognition to all your employees. But the high performers, if they don't get recognition for going above and beyond, if no one notices that, they too will become demotivated and their performance will start to drop off. And you want to sustain that high performance. So make sure you're recognizing them and appreciating them out loud, for the work that they're doing and for going above and beyond. They need that recognition. Even if they don't say they need it, they do. The fourth thing you need to know is that you have to give good quality feedback to a high performer. A lot of managers are not giving enough constructive or positive feedback to their employees. But high performers always want to improve. Even if they're already doing everything really, really well, a high performer still wants to know how to get to that next level. So you have to give good quality feedback. You're doing all these things great. Here's where I see you can get to the next level. Give them quality feedback. The last thing that you need to ensure for your high performers on your team, let them know they're valued. If you're treating all your employees the same, even the ones that are operating at different levels of performance, that's not going to be very encouraging for a high performer. A high performer, just like the recognition piece I just mentioned, a high performer wants to understand the value that they're bringing to the team. And they want you to tell them that you see the value that they bring to that team. Maybe even give them a chance to mentor other performers or coach other performers on your team to get them to their level. Because typically a high-performing person maybe wants to take on more of that leadership role as well, and give them the space to share what they know with some of the other employees on your team. We all need high-performing employees, high-performing players on our teams to get optimal productivity, optimal performance. But you have to know how to manage them. You have to know how to keep them engaged, how to keep morale high, or you might lose that high performer. If you implement some of the strategies I just shared with you, there's a strong chance not only will you keep your high performers, but there's a strong chance that you'll attract more high-performing employees to your team because you will be a rock star manager that people want to work for. So just remember, you cannot manage your high-performing employees the same way you manage your other employees. Implement some of what I've taught you here, and again, you'll keep working toward building that high-performing team.